All right. I feel like I'm normal again with my laptop for the meeting. I figured out why there was no voice when I did it last time, because you can't do a screenshot with voice. It's just taking a screen video of your, I'm gonna try to mute everybody. So that's why there was no voice on the recording. And it is definitely a recording right now. I have it clicked to mute all users upon entry, but it's not doing it evidently. Okay, I'm just gonna keep letting everybody in. All right, 2 more minutes and then I'm gonna let you all in. I mean, get started. You're all in already. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So because the meeting wasn't recorded last week, I'm gonna repeat a couple of things that I said last week, just about housekeeping and stuff. I'm gonna be posting a pictures of the hopeful Airbnb, if we get enough people. I will post it so you guys can see what the house looks like. This way everybody knows what they're getting into. They're not in a small apartment or anything like that. It's like a big mansion house. It's gorgeous. So I'm gonna be posting pictures of that within the next week. You're gonna be getting your spreadsheet for the next challenge to fill out this weekend. So if you guys can get that filled out, I'd really greatly appreciate it. What else did I want to talk about? Or housekeeping? Payment is due if you are not in a promotion right now, like a 3v3, whatever that thing is, promotion. Payment's due by the 10th. So if I don't have payment by the 10th, not by the 10th, payment's due by the 10th. And if you're not, and if you're staying in and I don't have it by the 10th, I'll message you. I'll try to message you. But by the Friday, the 15th, you'll be taken out. if I don't either hear from you or get your payment. If you have people that are talking about signing up and joining, if they don't message me by the 10th, you're not getting in. Nobody gets in beyond the 10th. That's my cutoff date, hard cutoff, because it's hard for me to catch up with people when I've already started the regular Zooms. So please keep that in mind. And I appreciate all your referrals. And if you gave me a referral and I owe you $10, please message me. My new website will keep track of that, which is great. Okay, so let's talk about something that I've been getting a lot of messages about. And today's meeting is really probably a repeat for a lot of you. And some of the things I'm going to say is probably a repeat for all of you. Trying to get that circle off of there. Okay. Because everybody's so concerned about this, two things, the scale and loose skin or being soft. So what I'm going to say, no one's going to be happy about. When you lose weight, your skin has been stretched from being overweight. Your skin does not shrink. Don't let anyone tell you you can shrink your skin. Those things that they tell you, oh, we're going to do the whatever, the sculpting and all that crap, it's bullshit. And I know Kristen, she's a doctor, so I know she can back me up on that. You can't shrink skin. Skin is skin. And thank you. And it sucks. And you have to get over it. Like, I have loose skin. I lost weight. If you guys could see my stomach not covered in clothing, my lower stomach, I have a lot of loose skin. And I keep saying I'm going to get surgery for it, but it's a long recovery, so I don't do it. But one of the drawbacks is excessive skin. So you either want to be overweight and not healthy, or deal with the excessive skin, or get surgery. So as much as I would love to say, oh yeah, your skin's going to tighten up and blah, 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 no, but there are things you can do. So you learn how to camouflage it, like I've done. You also, the more you lift weights, you give the visual of tighter skin. You can, your muscles need somewhere to go. So they'll get bigger, and then your skin on the bottom won't look so loose. The wider you train your back, the smaller your waist will look, because you give that visual. Work on things that you know that you like. Your lower abs, they're if you have loose skin, you can't work on that. Work on your upper abs like I do, and then only show that part. There are creams that will for like your crepey skin or wrinkly skin. Those work and they're great, but you have to use them every day. Every day. I mean, I have it. It's that toner. It goes with the tanner. I'm using it on my arm right here because from using the DFTs over here, it made my skin crepey. It's not on this arm. It's only on this arm. So I started using it. It seems to be working, but this skin will always be here. Do you guys see that? It'll never go away. But if I flex, it's not really that noticeable, right? So many people have been asking me, what am I going to do about my skin? It's hanging, it's loose, it's this, nothing. Unless you're ready to have surgery, nothing. I would totally show you my stomach, but this goes on YouTube, so I'm not putting that on YouTube. If we were like in a private Zoom, I would totally show you guys. Or maybe if you come to the retreat, I'll show you guys. But it's not pretty and I hate it. And I keep saying I'm gonna have surgery. So I'm sorry, loose skin's there to stay unless you're gonna do something about it. Don't let a doctor, don't let a personal trainer, don't let anybody tell you that you can take care of it. Doctor, maybe yes, because he can cut it. I have a client that she's lost like 48 pounds and she just had 9 inches of skin removed. That's a lot. Her whole stomach, like 9 inches of skin. this much skin taken off of her stomach. She's never had kids, but she lost like 48 pounds or something. So now she's just recovering and she'll start working out. But so I hate to say that, but that's that. I wanted to get that out of the way. Now, being soft is different than loose skin. So you can tighten softness. I mean, softness is just your muscles that are not there. But if your skin is loose from losing weight, that's different. So you need to start lifting weights. If you are not lifting weights, start lifting weights. People always say to me, you lost 100 pounds. How come everything is not hanging? Because I was lifting weights the entire time I lost weight. The entire time. And I lift weights at least 4 times a week. That is not the answer, the end all, but that is like the number one answer. So start lifting heavy, girls. You're not going to get bulky, I promise. Okay. So the other question I get all the time is, I'm getting so this is a statement, I guess it's not a question. I'm getting so frustrated. The scale hasn't moved in 2 weeks, but my clothes are baggy. So I just don't understand. If your clothes are baggy, stop telling me you don't understand. Because if your clothes are baggy, that means you're losing inches. Unless you went out and bought bigger clothes. With macros, when you track macros, and if you even Google it, it'll say it is a body composition change. Macros tracking changes your body composition. It makes you leaner. The leaner you are, the smaller you are. There are reasons why the scale doesn't move. And we've talked about them, but I'm talk about them again. So first of all, fat loss is not linear. It doesn't happen every week. It shouldn't happen every week. If it does, that's great. But sometimes it might go up, but then it might go down more the next week. Or maybe 1 week you have inches lost, and then the next week you lose fat. But the scale is only a measurement of your being. It has no idea how much water you have, how much muscle you have, and how much fat you have. So I've said this to everybody, the day you start, you need to get your InBody. So you know when you're comparing it, so you can see how far you've come. Losing body fat is not easy. You know, an 8-week session, doing things correctly and not drastically, you could lose maybe 2% body fat, which is great. That's a lot. That's amazing. But getting on the scale every Monday and messaging me and saying, I only lost 1 pound, or, you know, this week I lost 0.6, but last week I lost 2 pounds. Waitlist is averageable. I've told you guys that as well. If you do a session, an 8-week session, and you lose between 5 and 8 pounds in that one 8-week session, you did what you were supposed to do. Because I don't calculate it for any more than that. If you come to me and tell me you want to lose 10 pounds in 8 weeks, I'm going to say, well, you're going to wind up staying on for another session. The slower it comes off, the longer it stays off. Right? All right. Okay, so sodium, water retention, sweat, and hydration are all things that will affect you on a scale. So that's why I always say, after you first pee, get on the scale. Don't have caffeine, don't have anything like that before you get on the scale, because it changes it. It should be after your first elimination, either totally naked or in the same outfit you wear every time you weigh in. If you weigh in and you're not wearing the same thing, or you move your scale, it's not going to be accurate. If you are dehydrated, it could make you weigh more, not less. If you just worked out and now you were sweating, it's going to make you weigh more, not less. If you drank something or ate something the night before and it had sodium in it, it's going to make you weigh more. That's not fat. That's just the scale being higher. Does everybody understand that? Okay. If you drank a ton of water like Danae is doing right now, and then do not pee in the middle of the night and then get up and weigh yourself, what's going to happen? This scale is going to be higher, because you're carrying all this water. So the only machine that will tell you otherwise is an InBody, and it will let you know how much water you have in your system. But you really, really want to keep that in mind, because water retention can really mess with your head, because we don't realize it's there, and it's 100% there. Of course, muscle gain is probably the second reason why the scale will not change. If you all of a sudden decided to lift 3 times a week and you weren't doing that prior, your muscles are going to swell. You know, when you walk out of the gym, you're like, oh, I feel so swole. Like today we did 100 million shoulder press, or you guys did, I didn't. Didn't you feel like you were like buff and like you wanted to walk around like this all day? That's all, everything's going to your muscles. They're swollen, they're full. So if you go to weigh yourself, you're going to weigh more. Or if you've been working out a ton and your body's not used to it, and you get on the scale in the morning, your body's going to weigh more. You're holding all that in. It will eliminate and you will weigh less. That's why I always tell people when they do races or anything, wait a couple of days before they weigh in. Damn it, I just had something in my head. I was talking about muscle gain. Oh, a lot of times if you change your protein or any of your supplements, the scale is going to not reflect weight loss. Your body has to shift. It has to learn what it's doing. It takes that whole gravitational shift. You know, it takes 7 days for your body to get used to any new changes. So you need to give your body that time. Female hormones, they suck. We all have them. I don't know if there's any guys on here right now, but hopefully we don't all have them. If there's guys on here, or if you're watching it on replay. But coming up to when you start your cycle, even if you don't have a cycle, we have hormones. And you're going to weigh more. When we have our cycle, everything sheds, right? When you first start your cycle, you feel bloated, you feel like you have to go to the bathroom all the time. And then once you start, you feel so much better after a couple of days. That's like, could be anywhere from 2 to 4 pounds on a scale. It's not fat. So when you guys message me and say, hey, I'm not going to weigh in because I'm about to start my cycle, I always say weigh in, because you want to see a pattern. And you'll see the pattern every time you start your cycle. You might be 2 pounds, 3 pounds, maybe 1 pound, maybe 4 pounds. Some people 5 pounds, but I don't know what your cycle, how it works with your cycle. But if you weigh in at your cycle, then we'll see a pattern every month. The 14th of the month, you're gaining 5 pounds, but it's really not 5 pounds. And then you take it off the following week. If you are going through menopause, that will totally throw your hormones up in an uproar, and will make the scale go crazy. Even if you don't have a cycle, like I haven't had a cycle in, I don't know, over 5 years. And I'm not in perimenopause. I never went through menopause. But I still feel that once a month, you know, that bloatness or whatever. So even though you might not think you have it, you might still have it. So keep track of it. It's really good. Like when we were younger, we used to keep track of when we got our cycle. So we knew, you know, when our cycle was, if we went on vacation or we wanted to get pregnant or whatever it was. Now you want to do it for the reason of weight loss, to keep your mind sound. If you are stressed, I've talked about this. If you are stressed or you're not getting enough sleep, your scale will go up. If you have been moved from a normal situation, you're in a new situation, kind of like Danae. Danae got transplanted from her home like within a week and moved in with her in-laws and didn't even have her trampoline with her anymore and all this stuff. And, you know, that will make the scale go up, but that's not fat. That's just your cortisol level going up, which makes the scale go up. So I always ask people, you know, if their scale went up and they message me and they're like, I just don't understand. I always say, well, let's talk about it. How's your sleep been all week? You know, what was your stress level like? And it's usually one of those two things. Like I slept like shit. I didn't feel good. I had a sick baby, sick child. I traveled for work. You know, my stress level is so high because I have to take a test or whatever it is. And that's usually the reason. And then it balances out. So you don't want to go off the edge immediately because of that reason. So I always ask those questions. Another thing that's huge is your bathroom status. Not pee, but if you have not gone number 2, the scale is going to be more. It's not fat, but the scale is going to weigh more. You have all that in your body, right? You haven't eliminated it yet. So keep that in mind. You know, a lot of people say, well, I haven't gone to the bathroom like 2 or 3 days. And I'm like, well, for one thing, you need to up your fiber or change your fiber, or try something to help you go to the bathroom. But it will make a huge difference on that scale if you're not regular. If you have a full stomach, do not get on the scale. I don't know if you guys know Tate, but Tate is a manager of my Orange Theory. He gets on the scale after he eats lunch. I'm like, dude, why do you do that? He's like, I don't know. I just have a habit of doing it every day after I eat. And I'm like, well, and then nothing happens. Like he doesn't gain weight and it pisses me off. He's like 24. But I'm like, never do that. You should never weigh yourself like that. It drives me insane. So don't compare yourself to being on an empty stomach with a full stomach, or even just had something little to eat, but you had, because you were nauseous, so you got on the scale. I hear that too. I woke up nauseous, so I ran downstairs and I had something really quick and I came back up and weighed in. Why? It takes 2 seconds to weigh in. Jump on, jump off, go get your food. I talked about the different clothes. And then the last thing I want to talk about is trend, like your weight loss trends. If you happen to notice that every other week you're not losing weight, but every other week you are losing 1.5 pounds, that's a good trend. That's 3 pounds in 3 weeks, right? That's a pound a week. If you happen to notice that you go 2 weeks without losing, but for the whole, for 4 weeks, let's say you lose 4 pounds, that's awesome. You have to watch the ebb and flows. You have to think about the trends of your own body. And you guys have that in your app. You can see like a chart of your weight loss, how it goes. I mean, yeah, it's great to see it go like this, but that's very rare. This is a scale going down. This is a chart going down. You know, if you fall off the wagon, which I don't believe is such thing when you're tracking macros, but if you sabotage yourself and go crazy, the scale is going to go up. It might not stay up because it's very hard to gain fat as quickly as we think we do. It's usually, you know, it'll usually come off within a couple of days. And sometimes I'll say, you know what, just weigh in so we can account for it and then weigh in a couple of days and let's see what happens. When you guys are eating before you go to bed, try to keep it limited to proteins if you're going to eat something before bed. If you're going to eat carbs right before bed and then weigh in the next morning, your body hasn't had a chance to eliminate it, to process it yet. But proteins are a natural fat burner, and that will help you with your weight loss. So setbacks will set you back if you let it mentally, not necessarily on the scale. So if I tell you, okay, wait 2 days and weigh yourself, again, don't let that 2 days be another 2 days where you can have something like shit. I think give you a reprieve to now wait 2 days and now weigh in again, you know? So you want to make sure you get right back on track, stay focused, and get right back into it and weigh in. If you ignore the scale, your weight will go up. If you're not taking pictures, you're not going to know if you're making any progress. I mean, your clothing will tell you a lot of times, but, and something I talked about last week, junk food is not a reward. We don't have cheat meals. We don't have reward meals. You know, we don't have celebration snacks because there's no restrictions. And if you start rewarding yourself with food, that's a really bad mindset to have about food in general. Food is not a reward. Food is for survival. Food is not a gift or present. Food is something we need to survive, something that we need on a daily basis. And if you tell me, oh, I can't wait to hit my goal weight and I'm going to have 3 chocolate chip cookies, or I'm going to have 3 slices of pizza, I'm going to turn around and say, well, then you're on a diet and you really don't need to be in this program, because you are going to gain weight when you do that. And it's going to put you off the deep end. So have a chocolate chip cookie, have those 2 slices of pizza and put it in your daily plan. Reward yourself with workout clothes, reward yourself with something that will, a book, you know, food is not a reward, or food should not be a reward for you or your children, which we do a lot too. If you're good, I'll take you to McDonald's. If you behave in Target, I'll take you to Burger King on the way home. I've been there, I've done it. I've sat in Wendy's and had nothing to eat and fed my kids Wendy's. Someone drove by one day, my kids are in the 20s now, but when they were younger, someone drove by and saw my car at Wendy's and immediately messaged me and said, you're at Wendy's? And I was like, no, my kids are at Wendy's. I'm just sitting here letting them eat. And now in retrospect, what the frick was I thinking? They probably had, I can tell you, they had Frosties and were dipping their French fries in Frosties. Do you remember when your kids used to do that? And I sat there and watched them doing it, but here I am being all healthy. But they were good in school or got a good grade, and that was their reward. So we start out with that, and our parents did it for us. I talked about this one time. We used to go to chorus concerts with elementary school, and our reward was Friendlies. Friendlies is an ice cream place, for those that don't know that. And they had these big these big Reese's peanut butter cup things. And my sister's nodding because that was what we looked forward to. And it's not like it didn't happen often. It was like every week there was a concert between 3 kids. We were at Friendlies at least once a week in 4 weeks, 3 times a month. That's why we were all overweight. But yes, we need to get out of the habit of rewarding ourselves. When I get to my goal weight, I'm going to have this. Stop saying that. Instead, flip it. When I get to my goal weight, I'm going to take myself to Lululemon and get myself a new sports bra, or take myself to Target and get myself a new pair of leggings, or Old Navy, or whatever. And that should be just as exciting as eating food, because if you're learning how to eat properly and for your goals, you would know that food will no longer be like that. Oh my God, I'm so excited I have it. Like, it's not like that anymore. You start to not think about it. And a lot of times you tell yourself you're going to do it, and then it comes down to it and you don't do it. Mind over matter takes over, and you're like, oh, I don't really want to sabotage myself. I don't really want to have that. I mean, I do it to myself all the time. I'll tell Mike on the way to a restaurant, you know, I did so good this week and I dropped body fat. When we go here, I'm going to have this. And I don't do it. Last night we went to Okeechobee Steakhouse for his birthday. I'm like, I love the lobster mac and cheese. And I left it in my macros to have it. And when I got there, I was like, I don't want to do that. I've been working so hard. I freaking had the triple seafood trio with jasmine rice and vegetables. But in my mind, I wanted to have it. But when you come down to it, when you work so hard for something, do you really want to do that? Right? All right. And don't be hard on yourself. That was one thing I want to talk about today too. You know, and I do it to myself too. I'm like, I suck. I shouldn't have done that. And then people are like, no, you don't suck. But honestly, we need to be kind to ourselves and good to ourselves. And if we fuck up and we get right back on it. Life's not going to end. I'm not going anywhere. The Shred Tribe's not going anywhere. You can get right back into it. You just have to get refocused. And the only way to get refocused is these meetings and staying engaged in the app. Even if the meetings don't pertain to you, just being in the group, the engagement is huge. And I always revert to this, you know, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous. They have weekly meetings. Some people just sit there and they just listen to everybody else. It doesn't pertain to them. It might have nothing to do with them, but they're there. And that shows that they are focused, they are engaged, they're committed, and that will truly help you stay focused and committed. Watching on a replay is great, but it's not the same thing. Plus, you're carving out 30 minutes of your week for you. in this meeting. And I know it's a challenge. I get it, because I belong to businesses where they're like, oh, we have our Zoom meeting tonight, and we have another Zoom meeting tonight. We have another Zoom meeting tonight. And it just gets overwhelming. But you need to commit to one thing. And if this is the one thing that you do every single week for yourself, this will help you reach your goals. I promise you. And not to plug the retreat, because I don't make any money on the retreat, just so you guys know. I actually lost money last year, which I don't care. But it does help you stay focused, stay centered, get refocused, get recentered. There's a couple of girls that came to the last retreat that had kind of lost their way, but they came to the retreat and they left and they like killed with gangbusters, and now they're on maintenance. So it really does help. I think that's all I have tonight. Does anybody want to share anything? Wow, you guys are all quiet. All right.
Can you tell us more about activities that happened during the retreat?
Sure. So we worked out. We literally woke up. Is there anybody on here? We literally woke up. We went for, if your choice was, you could either go for a 5K walk, which no one ran. A couple of people ran, but I walked. We went on a 5K walk early in the morning. Some people slept in. It wasn't mandatory to do anything. So we would leave at like 7 a.m. We did our 5K walk. By the time we came back, we made our coffee. People started waking up 8:30, 9 o'clock. We had like community time or whatever. We all talked. We did workouts throughout the day. Like I had a schedule. And you had options. You could do yoga, you could stretch, or you can do a band workout, or you can just hang out. And a lot of people, chose not to work out all 4 workouts. They hung out. Trying to think. We did Secret Santa one night with your favorite snack. So everybody brought their favorite snack or food and wrapped it up, and we did like, the Secret Santa thing in the middle, and you got to pick, and everybody got a new snack that they've never had, which was really cool. We tried to do vision boards, but nobody wanted to do it. We cooked together. We ate together. We didn't watch TV at all. There was 16 of us or 18 of us. And we did the pool. There was a big pool. So I don't know why they're barking. Stop. Mike's home. Stop. Flash. Sorry. Hey. Stop. So annoying. Mike's home too, so he's been home the whole time. So they're barking at like UPS or something. They won't stop until the guy's away from the door. I wish there was a way to like stop dogs from barking. It's so freaking annoying. Stop. Anyway, we cooked, we laid by the pool, we hung out, we shared, like everybody tracked their food and shared what their favorite foods were. I mean, it was just community. It was fun. It went quick. We got there Friday afternoon, Friday evening, and then we left Sunday morning. All right, I have to go because this is freaking annoying me. So I will share pictures of the house and give you guys more information on it. I hope you guys all have a great night. Remember, always be badass. Bye, everyone. Now they stop.